Hi everyone, this is your girl Khalif, aka K, deep in the streets. Welcome back to my podcast, Spark Effect. I don't know which number episode this is. I think this might be my 19th episode of season 2 so far. I've been really consistent with you all with season 2. And I took a little bit of a break because I needed it and I had to work, and I just kind of felt like I was like putting out too much and overwhelming you all. So I don't know if I was or not. But I just want to say thank you to my new subscribers and my old ones who've been here, but the new ones, I think we're currently at 155. I am on a journey to 500 subscribers, okay? So, like, I really want to get there. Here, let me take my glasses off for a little bit until we get into the show. But, because it's the glare up there. But I just want to say thank you for, checking me out. Like, thank you for definitely like subscribing, and I really hope that you all enjoy the content for what it is. Once again, it's been super fun, but I'm also trying to find my groove, right? Because it's like I'm posting like short videos, and those are doing better than my actual long form videos. So I'm just seeing different things where I'm like, okay, I'm not really established to do long form, but I really pray and hope that one day I could build enough to where people like tune into my long form, because I feel like I put a lot of work into it. In my last 2 videos, I edited a lot and they were very long. So this one, I'm going to try my best to keep it short, 15 minutes, 25 minutes at the most, because I'm a talker. Y'all know I love talking. But I think moving forward, I'm going to try to keep my stuff shorter because I feel like I'm putting all this energy into editing. And I don't think people care about the editing. I think people care about the analysis and the commentary that I provide with some of the topics that I report on or give my commentary on. So I do feel like I kind of got lost in the sauce of doing all this fancy editing. And it's not even the best editing, but it's funny and it makes sense. And I think it's decent editing. I think it's decent. But I don't think that that's what people care about. You know what's so interesting? Before we get into the topic here, the topic will be Olay and Friends, by the way. But what I've noticed is that, I went to school, I learned all these skills, and I'm trying to figure out where to apply these skills. I'm trying to, do my job at my regular job, and it's just, I don't know. Not to say that it's not appreciated, but I don't know. I think that sometimes as a content creator, some of us, we put so much energy into how things look versus what it is, So I think with this episode, I'm just going to not edit it. It's going to be fun. It might be a little light editing, but I just want to have fun with you all. I just want us to enjoy. If you watch me, what I'm seeing is that you watch me because you enjoy what I say. And we have a vibe here. We have a parasocial relationship, right? So I'm not going to edit that much unless it's like absolutely necessary or unless I really want to, because I am capable of editing. But now you all know I edit, okay? Now, if you all don't want to watch, that's totally fine. I know my videos are long. So let's go ahead and let's get started with the topic. And if you do watch, I want to say thank you for coming back. Thank you for subscribing, liking, and sharing. If you like my content, please share it. Help your girl out. It'll only help the channel grow. I'm on the road to 500 subscribers. So, anywho, let's get to it. So let's talk about this Olay and Friends. Y'all know I'm a little I have an astigmatism, child, so I can't, see. And I'm looking at this because I'm looking at the timer in the camera. But we have a lot to discuss with this Olay and Friends, but I will not make it long. I'm going to make it as brief as I can. So Olay and Friends is a podcast hosted by Laverne. She is a content creator. She used to practice law. I don't think she practices anymore. I don't know a lot. I know about Olay, and I know that she does make content, and a lot of her content is from the political. What she does with her show is she examines trends and, hot topics and things like that, but she provides more of a political or theoretical approach to it, right? She applies a very analytic, deep dive analysis of topics, right? I have seen a lot of episodes of Olay and Friends. I know a lot of people who saw this Laverne Cox accountability panel. A lot of people were new, but do I watch every single episode of Olay and Friends? No, I do not, but I have watched some of her content. I watched her first interview with Laverne Cox. I thought it was amazing. And I've watched some of her other interviews where she does all these deep dives, either it be by herself or with friends. And Olay and Friends is its own separate podcast. It's not her by herself. But, she's been doing this for a while. And all my respect to you, Olay. This panel was accountability panel for a prominent figure, Laverne Cox. Now, if you all have been under a rock, about 2 or 3 weeks ago, Laverne Cox announced, it was like a month ago at this point, Laverne Cox announced that she used to date a ex-cop / MAGA, white, blonde hair, blue-eyed man, right? And she dated him a little bit during the pandemic. They met around, I believe she said 2020, 2021 was around the time that they met. Correct me if I'm wrong or if I get any of these facts wrong, but they met after 2020, you know, and this was during the height of George Floyd and all these different things going on in the world. But this is when they met. They met on a dating app, and allegedly she didn't know, and this is what she says. She says that she didn't know, you know, that he was a Republican. She didn't know that he was a cop. When she met him, he told her that he was a real estate agent. So, you know, he told her that he was a real estate agent. Sorry, guys, I have to run and get me some coffee really quickly. My nails look crazy. I wear press-ons. I don't really go get my nails done because it's a waste of money. Although there are some very talented nail techs that I love, but, you know, the money is real tight. And so I might put these on. These are Nicki Minaj's Pink Fridays press-on nails. These are really sexy. I might not even go anywhere this weekend because last weekend I ran the streets. Oh my God, my nails look so bad. See how broken they are? They're so broken. But I'm probably going to put these on during the video, so I might look down. But yeah, so back to the story. She met him on Tinder, met him on this app. Apparently, things were going really, really well. At the time, she was almost 50. I think she said she was 48 or 47 in her late 40s. Correct me if I'm wrong. If I'm ever wrong, you can always correct me. I don't care about that. Just be nice and be polite. Do not be rude, okay? Because we fact check over here at the Stark Effect. And I'm coming to you straight, no shooter, because I feel like if I sit up here and I prepare, and I did prepare lightly, but I feel like sometimes I over-prepare instead of just recording. And then what does that turn into, you guys? It turns into procrastination. So she's 53 now. So this was 5 years ago. So yeah, she was what, 48 at the time? Let's see. 49, 50, 51, 52. Yeah, she was 48 at the time when she met him. So here's what I will say. Laverne, shout out to you, respect to you for even coming on a panel with other popular LGBTQ people, other people who are familiar faces to myself and a lot of other trans people in the national community, you know, in the world. You know, these people have built a decent following for themselves. All of them respectfully, whether I like them or not, you know, and we'll get into that in a second. But Laverne, I just want to commend you for even coming to talk to the people, right? And take this public lashing. Because in my opinion, you know, what she did was a publicity stunt. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It was a clear publicity stunt. She said she didn't think about it, she just did it. When we talk about the realm of celebrities, a part of being a public figure is you have to get the people talking. So it's clear as day that this was a PR stunt. That's no shade, that's no disrespect, that's just the honesty of what this is. It was a publicity stunt, and that's what she needed to promote her show. So I think some people know that. But at this point, the issue with this situation, and there is no issue about who you date, but the issue with this, and this is my opinion, is that you can't put anyone on a pedestal, no matter how good their image is, no matter how much you like them, it doesn't matter. For example, me, there are plenty of public figures who are trans that I admire, and I might even look up to them, but I don't put these people on a pedestal. At the end of the day, these people are people. These people have been through stuff in their life to get where they are. They're in the industry. Ain't no telling what they have had to go through or even do to get where they are in the industry. I'm not making any accusations. I don't know these people personally. As a trans person, of course, we don't see a lot of you know, A-list trans people, right? We don't see that all the time, but we do have a few of the girls who are kicking ass in their careers. And sorry for my profanity, but they are doing well in their careers, right? And they got it, and they're blessed. And to me, who was a former youth, you know, now I'm in my early 30s, But as a former youth, you know, I looked up to Laverne. I still look up to her, by the way. Janet Mock is another one. There are certain women who definitely were a part of this paradigm shift for the LGBTQ community. Another notable one that a lot of people, in my opinion, don't give enough respect to is Isis King. I don't know why people never give this lady the respect that she deserves. Maybe it's because she's a model, and she's also an actress too. But I do feel like people kind of, they give her respect, but not enough, in my opinion. I feel like Isis King definitely was like one of the earlier girls who was at the brink of that shift, right along with Laverne Cox, but Isis was around, you know what I mean? Sorry, my nails look so crazy. I'm so embarrassed because normally I always make it a point to have a nail on. So let me get back to my tangent here. Laverne Cox, we put her on a pedestal, and I think that that's something that we all have done as a community. But for me personally, with maturity, I don't put any celebrity on a pedestal. I might admire a celebrity, I might really like their work, and I might even feel attached to their work and just love them. But I think with maturity and just working in the industry myself as a journalist and all that, and meeting people, I've never met Laverne Cox, but meeting celebrities and stuff, and you just see that they're regular people, you don't put them on a pedestal, let alone their love life and their personal choices. You know, Laverne Cox's love life is not our love life. Yes, she's a Black trans woman. Yes, she's a Black woman. No, I'm not defending her dating a MAGA Republican cop. What I am saying is that in general, regardless if she dated one or not, a part of this backlash is personal attachment. That's just what I'm saying. I think people are taking this moment, who are her genuine fans who are disappointed, but other people who are taking this moment and trying to make it their moment. And this is something that all content creators do. Whether you're an activist or not, you could be a writer, a scholar, I don't care who you are, because everyone on that panel is everyone on that panel, and we're gonna get into this panel, and I'm promising I'm gonna try and make this short, but everyone on that panel is trying to build something for their career. And a part of that is being a public, you have to be in face with the public. I don't care if you're an academic who wrote all the best books in the world. Like me, I went to, schools, I went to UCLA, I went to USC, right? It doesn't matter, right? If you were out here making any type of content, you're on a podcast, what you do is you are contributing to the conversation. And what I saw on that panel, a little bit of what I saw, it's sort of like, let me write this down because we're gonna come back to it, because it really like pissed me off. It pissed me off a little bit, but we're gonna come back to it. Hold on, I gotta write it down because I'm not gonna edit this video. So, you know what? Let me backpedal a little bit. Let's backpedal. So, Laverne, I commend Laverne for going. I think at this point, we need to stop putting our figures on these pedestals. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're Laverne Cox. I don't care who you are. Hope, Giselle, Diamond Styles, excellent work. In general, and this is not shade to any of them, right? There are certain people who are trailblazers in the community. Respectfully, they are trailblazers, right? But I think what will help us navigate this, or what my hope is that we just stop putting these people on a pedestal. Now, Laverne is a celebrity, though. Hope and Diamond are not, like, celebrities. They're just prominent LGBTQ trailblazers. Sorry. Oh, Jesus. Burping. Prominent, trailblazers in our community. So to us, they are celebrities in that way. But they're not, like, celebrity. Does that make sense? They are journalists. They are activists. They are content creators. They are voices of the community, not celebrities, right? So everyone on that panel is a voice in their own way. Now, what happened on this panel was a mess. Laverne went immediately into explaining herself, right? Olay was like, hey, I'm just going to take a back seat. This is the beginning. She was like, I'm going to take a back seat. It's not my space as a cisgender woman to get into trans people's business, child. That's not my space. Respectfully, right? And I could see Olay's intention in that. Fine. She was like, look, I'm just the moderator, but I'm just going to let y'all also have it. Here's the floor. Laverne immediately starts explaining herself. People are making faces. People are taking it in. All of them are taking it in. On this panel, you had Deshawn. You had Kayton, I believe that's her name. I think it's Kayton. You had Hope Giselle. You had Kat Blaque. And you had Dominique Morgan. So you have some heavy hitters on this panel. I hope I'm not forgetting anyone. Hold on. It was Hope Giselle. I'm remembering in my head. It was Hope Giselle, Dominique Morgan, Kayton, Deshawn, and Kat Blaque. And it was just 6 people, right? Hold on. Let me look it up one more time. I just want to make sure. I don't want to get that wrong. yeah, those are the people that were on the panel. And this whole setup was supposed to be an accountability panel, right? I was actually excited about this. Before I get into my take of it, I was excited because I was like, oh, she's coming to like really talk. Like for me, I was like, oh, she really coming to talk. Like I was kind of gagged because I was like, oh, you're brave because a few of those girls on that panel are gonna let you have it. Hint, hint. You know, Hope, Giselle, and honestly, I thought Dominique was gonna let her have it as well. But I also thought my expectations of it before I watched it, I really thought it would be more smooth than what it was. I didn't picture it being as messy as it is now, because now it's a hot mess. Everyone's fighting. Everyone has a thought. You know, even me, I have my thoughts about it, but I had to sit with it because I watched the full thing and I actually got triggered a little bit watching it because it was such a mess. At certain points, some points were educational and great, but the majority of it was it was just all over the place. Back to the panel. So Olay says that she's the moderator. Laverne starts explaining herself. I think the first person who talked, I think it was Dominique who was one of the first people to talk, or was it Quayton? See, now I'm kind of a little glossy on it because I watched it a week ago when it first came out. And I wanted to sit with it for a few days, right? Long story short, someone opened that panel, and I think it was either Dominique or Quayton that kind of started talking first after Laverne. Hope Giselle was surprisingly, like, the thing about Hope Giselle, whether you like her or not, Hope Giselle is very vocal. I know that there are some criticisms of Hope Giselle, such as her being angry or such as her being performative and being a performative activist. Even me, myself, I'm gonna be honest with you, I know who Hope Giselle is. I've seen a few of her things. But, you know, there were things earlier in her career that kind of, I just didn't really align with. Such as like All Lives Matter stuff that she was doing like earlier in her Facebook days and stuff like that. I was kind of like, okay, I don't really align with that. And, you know, so I'm not saying that she's like a horrible activist or something like that. But, you know, there have been criticisms of her being performative at some points, right? People take shots at her because she cries on live. People say certain things about her. And some people love her. Some people don't care for her. But I was actually surprised because it took a while for Hope to talk. And I was kind of like, I was actually really interested in what Hope would say. Because Hope Giselle is sort of like the accountability police. I think that's the part of her. So when you have an activist, you might have a person who's like a Diamond Styles, who's like, okay, I'm gonna give it to you straight, no shooter, that was effed up, sis. There are different people with different energies, right? And Hope Giselle's energy is very like, I'm gonna call everyone out all the time, right? It works for some people, it doesn't work for some people. Sometimes it's too much, sometimes it's just enough. That's your personal opinion. I was actually excited though to see what she would say. I was like, oh, what's Hope gonna say? Because I saw the clip from Gay Magazine, and one of the things that Hope said on the clip was, Laverne, you're too old. You're just too damn old to be doing this, girl. Like, no matter what you say, you can't sell this to me as if you just didn't have any other options. You know, no matter what you say, no matter what you do, sis, like you can't just sell this to me as if you just absolutely had no other option. You know, so that was basically Hope's thing. And Hope was very more on the, you know, here's the thing. After Laverne explained herself, we started getting into the excuses or the truths, because I took it as truths. Some people are saying, oh, Laverne was making all these excuses as to why she fell in love with this white, blonde hair, blue-eyed MAGA cop. And I'm saying it that way because that's how she said it in her initial video. Excuses or truths came, right? There was a light conversation of, oh, you know, is it harder for trans women to date? Yes, that's something that the panel all sort of agreed on. Quayton got a little agitated because she was like, you know, well, can we just get to the point? She doesn't like to date black men, because, you know, black men and black trans women do have this very tense relationship with each other when they do try to date. And there's often commentary, this is my commentary. In the community, there is this conversation of how it is difficult to date. If you're a black woman, it's difficult to date black men, black trans women. It's difficult to date black men specifically due to the tensions, due to the transphobia, due to what may come with that. That doesn't mean that all Black men are going to cause harm, but, that is a conversation that's being had in the streets. It's always been being had. It's another part of this conversation about DL men and how Black men and other men of color tend to be down low, and how white men are not always that way because white men have the power and the social capita, if you are an upper echelon white man, or, something like that. If you're a white man who has nothing to lose, which most it's safe to say most white men in their dating lives have a lot of freedom in regards to, their own masculinity and it not being questioned or it not being judged. It doesn't mean that it doesn't happen, but white men tend to have more of the social freedom that other men of color don't tend to have. That is a part of the conversation in real life and on this platform as well. And I think that there were some attempts to have that real conversation, but people like Quayton got a little annoyed because she was like, let's just get to the point, Laverne, you don't like Black men. Hope Giselle got annoyed because she's like, let's just get to the point, you don't like Black men. Laverne Cox got annoyed because she was like, I do like Black men, so you all are not going to put that on me, please. It just felt like Laverne was like, don't put that on me. Like, I get that y'all coming at me. A lot of people think I just love white men, girl, because of how I talk, because of how well I talk and how I get access to all this mainstream media. You just think I'm just laying up here being a bed wench, right? You know what I mean? Or you think that I just love white men. You think I just only date white men because of my celebrity, but I'm open to other men of color. I just happen to fall in love with this one. But the girls weren't really seeing that. Hope Giselle wasn't seeing it. Quayton wasn't seeing it. Or Quayton, whatever their name is. I think it's Quayton. Quayton wasn't seeing it. Deshawn wasn't seeing it. By the way, Deshawn is a non-binary trans-mass person. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, if I said that incorrect. Now, I did watch Deshawn's live after, and Deshawn did say that they had no gender, or they are ungendered, right? So they're actually not non-binary. That's another leg of this conversation. Yeah, so it was a little bit of dancing around with that. Then this is where things went left. So as soon as Deshawn started to talk, Quayton would cut Deshawn off, and Quayton did it about 4 or 5 times, and it got so bad to the point where Deshawn was like, yo, your energy is a lot. I need you to calm down, right? I did agree with that, because one of the first things that before Quayton started cutting off Deshawn, Quayton took a shot at Laverne Cox and basically was like, my cootie cat is more ethical than yours. Your cootie cat is unethical. My cootie cat is ethical because I get paid to do sex work and I do sleep with MAGA men as well. But that's the difference between you and I. So I'm more ethical. You're not ethical because you actually chose to fall in love. With me and these men, it was transactional. When Quayton said that, personally, I felt like it was extremely disrespectful of Laverne. I was like, whoa, sister, come on. That was wild. Hope Giselle, I don't recall if Hope Giselle called her old at that point. I think Hope Giselle called her old after that. But that to me, that just kind of felt nasty. It felt a little rude. Keep it real, that's fine or whatever. But it just felt it felt like some of these girls took it a moment to take a shot at Laverne. And Laverne was ready for it because Laverne Cox is already an established infrastructure in Hollywood, right? Laverne already is a name that has access to certain things that none of those other girls on that panel may never have access to. I'm not saying that they want it, right? But by way of Laverne being an actor and a celebrity and being on these red carpets, Laverne is on a certain level that a lot of trans people may not get to in their career. Not to compare, I'm just being honest, right? So I do feel like a part of this from certain people on the panel, such as Quayton, was to, be a little messy. Take this moment to go viral. Let me be a part of this conversation. Let me take this moment. I don't care about the real conversation because she messed up anyway. This is Quayton, in my opinion. She messed up anyway. I don't care. I want her to executive produce my film. Because Quayton, she kept promoting her film every time she would give her take on Laverne Cox or give her opinion. And it was just a point after she said that Laverne was unethical with her cootie cat, with her coochie. And then she would promote her film after saying stuff like that. And I just was like, I get that you want to promote your film and you want her to be an executive producer, but calm down. She probably not gonna work with you because you're being a little too thirsty, and you're also disrespecting this lady. And she's gagging and she could take it, but at the end of the day, I'll be surprised if she call you. She might still call her just to do a solid for the community and slap her name on it. But it was all over the place. I hope you're all following because I did take notes. And here's the thing. If you actually watched it, you would understand what I'm saying because I am all over the place and we're running short on time here. But these are just my initial thoughts. So I know that my brain is on different parts of the conversation, but I will not edit this video because I feel like it takes too long and people don't appreciate the editing that I do. So let me try to stay back on track. If you actually watched the full panel and just did not watch the clips, you would get what I'm saying. So don't just watch, if you watch this YouTube video, okay? Don't just watch the clips online, right? I need you to sit down and watch that 2-hour panel so you could really understand what people are trying to say.